Guys, how we doing? John Anthony, Chair Shot Sports, the driver to the top production. Thank you so much for joining us. What a SmackDown it was. Probably one of the best SmackDowns that I've seen in a long, long time. And I'm sure a lot of other people are definitely reiterating that sentiment. Awesome, awesome SmackDown. A lot of stuff happened that we didn't expect, and a lot of stuff we did expect did not happen. Take it from the top real quick. CM Punk opening the show, blowing the roof off of the Allstate Arena in Chicago. Awesome entrance. Great to hear from him again. Obviously, he skipped over on Raw. Is not yet medically cleared to wrestle. While he's going through talking about Chicago and himself and wrestling and Drew McIntyre, whose voice, very familiar voice that we hear, is "My name is Paul Heyman." Paul Heyman, probably 15 years in the making. Punk and Heyman being 1-1 in the same ring at the same time together, bringing back so many old memories. I know it did for me. I'm sure it did for a lot of other people watching this segment. That embrace definitely was not something that was doctored. Those two always have a great, immense respect for each other between Punk and Heyman. Great to see it, obviously getting back into character, going back into the story, and taking on the problem at hand, which was the bloodline. Heyman pretty much giving him a cry for help. Please take me with you. Solo comes out with the rest of the bloodline. Tells Punk, listen, you got to get out of here. We're going to make sure you're never cleared. Punk goes, what do you need for a favor for me? Heyman says, take me with you. Another cry for help to get him away from this Bloodline 2.0. Bloodline storm the ring. Looks like it's going to be a pretty rough day at the office for CM Punk, who slides in under the ring outside of camera. Cody freaking Rhodes with a baseball bat hands it over to CM Punk. Automatic equalizers send the bloodline at bay. So awesome segment to open up the show. Good stuff. Punk said a lot of stuff about Drew. He prayed for him, so we prayed on him. All that good stuff. A lot of qualifiers. And I tweeted about this a little earlier. Definitely that Triple H has his hand back in, definitely creative. Money in the Bank back in the day, yeah, you had one or two headliners, you had some of the main eventers that were going to be in the match, but the point of the Money in the Bank, right? The point of this briefcase, climbing the ladder and trying to get high enough to get your hands on a certified, guaranteed contract anytime you wanted in a 365-day frame. It was meant for, yeah, you could put one or two people in. Yes, it was Jericho's idea, we all know that. But you always had the underlings, right? The mid-carders who were qualifying and giving him this shot in the dark, the sniff at the main championship on the brand, to have a chance at that glory, gave them the chance to be the underdog and be the person who can sneak in, grab that title when they had no other chance at the time, except for with the said briefcase, right? Tonight proved that Triple H, Paul Levesque, is going back to that. You had guys like Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and Chelsea Green all qualifying. You knew, everyone thought that Bianca was going to win it. Everyone thought that Randy Orton was going to win it. But nope, these guys snuck in and got the win, which is exactly what we want in the Money in the Bank. You still want your main stars. You still want the main guys to still, other guys who are getting kind of, jerked around in the main event. And I can guarantee you, as I told you, I still think LA Knight is going to be our winner. Finn Balor, if he qualifies, might be the dark horse to win as well, to kind of, I guess, close the circle and come all the way around and have him challenge Damian Priest for the title, or put that friction into the Judgment Day, where will he defend it? I mean, will he cash it on him, or will he not? So that was amazing as well. But again, great to see those three in. It's great. Obviously, Jey Uso's in as well. The last two are going to be awesome to see who else gets in as well. We have a couple great matches going on next week on Raw, next week on SmackDown. So that's going to be, again, a banger of a PLE. It's going to be awesome to see on the men's and the women's side. Still standing strong, still standing firm in my take that Tiffany Stratton is going to win the Money in the Bank. And if anything actually pointed more to that tonight, the fact that she now has Nia Jax as her heavy and as a ally in her corner to help her out. Because obviously Nia is going to want someone as a friend to win the Money in the Bank, to think that person won't cash in on them. Makes perfect sense. Again, watching the product, everything counts. As soon as that segment happened and Nia attacked Michin on behalf of Tiffany, I knew it solidified the fact that Tiffany Stratton is going to win the Money in the Bank this year in Toronto. So all those matches were awesome. Backstage segment going on, everyone talking. You see a whole bunch of banging on the garage door of the Allstate Arena. I know I thought it. A lot of other people, probably 85 to 90% of you people thought it too. That was the Wyatt family or somebody from the Wyatt Six trying to get in. The garage door slowly gets up. We see a bloody body on the ground. Still see legs. Don't have a face. Don't know who it is. Very light out, so it wasn't the Wyatt Six. Drew McIntyre has made the trip from Raw over to SmackDown after quitting the company to annihilate and massacre CM Punk. Drew wasn't going to wait till the Wyatts got their hands on CM Punk. Drew took matters into his own hands and took out CM Punk. Left him a bloody pulp on the ground, picked him up on his shoulders, brought him all the way out to the entrance through Gorilla, to the entrance of the stage, dropped him off his back, took a bracelet off of his wrist. Now, it's shame on me if not knowing what that bracelet is. I believe it's something from AJ Lee. It probably has more meaning if it is. You see that? Please talk to me about it in the comments. I should probably know a little bit better about the meaning of that. That's probably why he took it off of him. But I'm pretty sure that's from AJ Lee, obviously his wife. So that's going to be interesting to watch as well. Putting that in his pocket and taking that when he left. Out comes Nick Aldis, tells him, get the hell out of here, what are you doing? A good hearty shove from Drew McIntyre to Nick Aldis. That's definitely going to bring a suspension, probably a fine. I'm still dead set on Drew showing up in TNA. Something's going to happen come Monday night where Drew is suspended and not going to be allowed either in the Money in the Bank tournament, not allowed on property, kicked out of the company, maybe a 30-day suspension. Makes perfect sense. He misses Money in the Bank. He goes into TNA. He's qualified into Slammiversary. That makes a lot of sense. I'm still holding very strong into him showing up and entering into their tournament and going against Moose in the 6-man elimination match that they're going to have at Slammiversary for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So that happened. That was amazing. As if it couldn't get any better. This is where it got a little weird for me. I'm not going to lie. So I know obviously everyone shits on AEW a lot of times. You're talking about how they're going to run over. TBS is going to accommodate any kind of... AEW goes probably, 10, 12, 13 minutes over. TBS doesn't blink an eye. They accommodate and they let them go over. Gives you those old Raw throwbacks to back when they were in USA, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they were going to like 11, 10, 11, 12. When it was something really good, maybe 11, 15. But then the announcers are making it very clear that Fox said they're going to stay with us until this match is over, no matter what happens. In my head, forget the match. Definitely just told me that something's going to happen in regards to the Wyatt Six, doing something on SmackDown affecting either the main event, doing something backstage, something to that effect. So here we go. Here goes the match. Very early on, gets a DQ. Cody and Solo DQ the match early, quick, which is very expected with the time constraints that they were under. They say, I believe they got DQ'd. It was 12 minutes of. It was around 9:48. So now I'm sitting here going, okay, so we have 12 minutes on top of an overrun that Fox is going to run. Here we go. They start going at it. Here comes the rest of the bloodline. Here comes Randy Orton. Here comes KO. Everybody's fighting each other. I'm waiting for the lights to go out. I'm waiting for some kind of sign, a blurb on the screen, something for the Wyatt Six. Nope. What we got, not better, because I won't say this is a better surprise, but Jacob Fatu has finally debuted on SmackDown, has made his arrival into WWE to help out the Bloodline, to help out Solo. Awesome to see him. Looks in amazing shape. Has definitely dropped some lbs. He looks great. Great to see him here. But it's great. I'm not gonna lie. They end the show, all of them throwing the ones up, all united. Great. I'm waiting for it. Here comes the little trademark in the bottom. That means shit to me. Triple H runs things now. That means nothing to me. I'm waiting. SmackDown goes dark. That's it. And here we go. They run into the local news. I'm sorry. That doesn't sit well with me. I'm pissed off. I'm upset. And I'm upset on a scale of Monday was such an amazing debut, right? Awesome. Cinema did a great job with the Wyatts. But the fact you don't bring them into SmackDown to raise that same sense of havoc, continue the massacre, and you laid the bait too. Nick Aldis is talking about adding extra security, doing all that stuff. Now, again, I'm the first one to tell you that when Paul thinks everyone thinks they're going to zig, they zag. So maybe this is an idea of, okay, everyone expects us to have Bo Dallas and the whole crew on SmackDown. So let's hold out. Let's give them Fatu. That's their surprise. Let's run it back to Raw. Run it there. Go through NXT. Next week, Madison Square Garden, SmackDown. That's where we bring out the Wyatt Six on SmackDown. So again, I'm trying to get into the head of Triple H. I'm trying to get into the head of Nick Khan and creative. It's a mute point. It's futile. It's a mute point. And I fucking love it. I got mad about it. I looked at the TV. I'm like, what are you doing? I automatically turned it off. I put on YouTube and put on some Not Sam Wrestling, But no, it was upsetting to me. I really was expecting some kind of massacre, some kind of showing from them. Now, speaking of the Wyatt Six making their presence known, I'm going to talk about a little bit right now, but we're going to do a full recap on our weekly show on Monday. It's very interesting to see what is going on with Pat McAfee's show with the Wyatt Six. 2 days in a row, they've been hacked by them. Pat denied it, but at the end of this second one, the words "you lied" showed up on the screen, and in Wyatt style. Pat, don't show up Monday, man. Mail it in, commentate from Zoom, commentate on Teams, bro. Do not show up for work on Monday. It is not going to be pretty. On the same token, can somebody please listen to my tweets and somebody get a wellness check on Adam Pearce, please? If you aren't watching and haven't been paying attention, you can't go back and look now because they've been deleted. Adam Pearce's account, ever since Wednesday, I believe it started, not the day after on Tuesday, but Wednesday, was very cryptic. The first one was telling him to remember. I wasn't able to get a screenshot. I wish I did. His location was the Playhouse. Now, for those of you that don't remember, way back with Bray Wyatt and The Fiend, he played a mailman that showed up in the Funhouse, right? So when the first thing showed up, it said Postman over. I think there was 6 tweets that popped up, and that's when it changed. His bio changed to Playhouse. I forgot what a couple other things that changed, but it went from Scrap Daddy and Adam Pearce to Postman. Luckily, we were able to grab a screenshot. We tweeted about it. An hour and a half later, back to Adam Pearce, back to his regular bio about being a dad, GM of Raw, all this other stuff. Since then, every day there's been tweets. And you got to catch them. You got to catch them. You got to be paying attention. Not saying you got to turn your noties on, but listen, you got to watch. You got to listen. You got to be active in it. And he has had some wild stuff. Calling the postman, telling him to remember. Second to last was saying it was message delivered but backwards. And that was kind of the last one. And then he went back to, hey, I'm fine, guys, don't worry about it. The telling one was this tonight, was on Friday. So I'm going through SmackDown. And all of a sudden I'm going through Twitter and I see people talking about how pissed off they are that Chad Gable's back in the triple threat for the Money in the Bank. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? So look, I'm able to pull up what WWE retweeted about Adam Pearce talking about Chad Gable being medically cleared, no matter, and Pearce talking about the accounts being hacked and not to worry. Don't worry, we have it under control. And when they tell you not to worry, that's when you worry. For the record, everyone's being hacked, but everything's back under control. We're fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess this is kind of how we do it. We get 35 seconds in, and all of a sudden, Pearce is. I got Howdy symbols everywhere. I got the Nightbird showing up. Pearce can't make a complete sentence. His video's being distorted. And I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? Then we go to the end. Same thing. Thank you all so much, and don't worry, everything is okay. And then the face, it looked like Nikki Cross. So if you guys are believing this for 1 second, and maybe I die on this hill, maybe I'm wrong, because I'll be the first. I don't delete tweets. It's out there. I live by it, and I'll own up to it. There's no way Chad Gable is in this triple threat match. Chad. So I went to Chad Gable's account, and having no mention of the attack on Monday night. What he did do today was he reposted Adam Pearce's tweet, which was WWE's tweet, about him being in the match. No, man. I'm telling you, it's Friday. There's 72 hours before we even touch Raw on Monday. I'm telling you, if you're taking this for granted and you think this is a done deal, then you don't watch the product. You don't know how this is going to work. They're reaching out onto Fox Sports and ESPN to get the Pat McAfee show. You think that just Chad Gable's going to get up and walk into a triple threat to go for the Money in the Bank when he was a target? I tweeted out, he's been a target for weeks. They've targeted Chad Gable. I showed it on X, the initial CG, and they wrote, you've changed and you stopped saying thank you. That's one guy. That's Chad Gable. So if you guys think these guys are going to be like, oh, I'm fine, whatever, I'm going to walk right into Money in the Bank. Dude, it's doctored. It's hacked. This is probably one of the best storylines I can think of, probably, obviously, since Bray Wyatt and the White Rabbit, but better. And a lot of people ask all the time, like, why do you have Logan Paul as champion? Why are we doing this? Why do we have people like, Pat McAfee? Their reach. It's the reach, guys. The only thing left is for them to do some kind of QR code, or if someone show up at a UFC event this Saturday at the Apex Center and have a rambling rabbit in the background. The reach is Logan Paul getting these people to have people tune in and watch. The reach is, you see this on, I'm a wrestling fan, you're a wrestling fan if you're watching this, right? The casual wrestling fan that might watch Raw, might watch SmackDown. You're watching Pat McAfee show. You're just chilling and watching ESPN. It's your normal everyday life. You're at work, you're watching, maybe you're at home. And all of a sudden, shit's going dark. The show's cutting out early, and there's Wyatt family symbols showing up on the show. How excited are you getting? How pumped are you that your everyday life is now being infiltrated by the storylines that you watch on Monday nights and Friday nights? Well, apparently only on Monday nights after tonight. Shit is wild. Things are getting good. Some way, shape, or form, I really feel like that the Wyatt family is going to have the Wyatt Six is going to have something to do with the winner of Money in the Bank. Men's or women's. We're not done yet. No one is to say that Nikki Cross is getting involved, but we'll talk about that on Monday. But I wanted to get in here. I want to talk about things, kind of talk everything out, how everything's looking. Guys, wrestling's cooking. And I said it before. I'm going to say it right now, and I'll say it for weeks on end. Whether you're watching Raw, SmackDown, WWE, or NXT, whether you're an AEW, Dynamite, Collision, or Rampage person, TNA Impact, New Japan, whatever you're watching, wrestling is cooking right now. Shit is on fire. Get excited. Enjoy all the products, because you never know when one place could go out of business and they go right back to what we had, where there was only one place to watch. Support all your promotions. Enjoy all of the products. But most importantly, watch all the products. With that being said, guys, John Anthony, Chair Shot Sports, thank you so much for joining us for this special edition podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.